Stimming. Okay, so let's pull this. Alright, so our tournament starts in half an hour. We have half an hour to get people to join. Let's do the Grand Swiss round 1. This was a little bit surprising draw. Okay, but in the end, it says it's a draw, yeah. But here is b4. Yeah, so maybe b4 is not entirely correct. Kind of need to create some problems for black. Probably he didn't see how. So q1. It kind of makes sense for white to start pushing the kingside pawns, but I guess he just didn't want to take any chances. White plays just very solid and goes for a draw. Yeah. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, this was another very solid game. People in the Grand Swiss, they play very solidly. They don't want to take risk. Not exactly solid. Not exactly solid. Let's see, 4. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, black is very accurate actually. Now he needs to play queen h5, yeah, then he's better. He probably thought that this is good enough. This is not bad, but the easy series holds, yeah. So queen h5 with the idea of queen f3, queen h3 first makes a lot of sense. He was low on time, he had only 6 minutes, which explains it. Apparently incorrect. After bishop e4 with the idea of queen h5. Queen f3, white is kind of in trouble, yeah, which makes sense. He missed rook e3. Okay. Yeah, so Erigasi was actually very lucky in this game. Yeah, Chigav was very, very close to getting a big advantage. Now white is completely okay. Black completely misplayed the attack. Now white even has extra pawn, but okay, it's looks like a draw. This was a pretty interesting game. I should be live, yes. Yes, I should be live. Yeah, so this should be a pretty interesting game. I can't quite make sense of this. Macro usually plays really well the opening part, so this obviously could not have come as a surprise for him, but this is kind of a weird move. G4 was no threat. Yeah, the question is how does white play, yeah? And the normal play is like bishop d3 here at some point. If he didn't want to play h4, h4 was also very interesting. I think h4 makes kind of sense. But then, how do we play here? Yeah. How do we play here? This f3 is very, very double-edged. Going after this pawn, h3, c5, he plays c3, then take, there is rook c8, and already the knight on b3 is not standing well. The whole idea of knight b3 was to take here with the knight. But if you take here with the knight, then this pawn on e5 becomes really, really unprotected, which is why black plays this h6 g5 to stop f4. Okay, very much. Yeah, so this is kind of, I mean, logical, but people used to play this plan. c3 castle and something like f4 here. And I think that's a little bit easy for white to play this position because some clear targets, but maybe black's fine. Yeah, the Caro-Kann is actually complicated. Yeah, this knight b3 is very old line, but yeah. But okay, so white is still okay. c5. Take, c3, take, and knight bd4 is fine. Black cannot capture on e5 because that pawn is hanging, so bishop b4, keeping the bishop alive makes sense. Knight d2 makes sense, and now white can pretty much probably even play f4 here, yeah. I think he should have played f4 probably. And then if knight c5, bishop here, this knight is pretty strong. You can play knight d3, but this might be a little bit unpleasant idea. So bishop h7 to keep the knight g6 option, queen e2. Now rook is kind of ready to go here, yeah, or h4 maybe even. Because knight g6 now is nothing. So black has to wait for white to declare his rook. This knight is very strong, so advantage white, yeah. Yeah, so this was very, very complicated. He played knight b5, and I thought that was not very accurate, and this was pretty strange, yeah. After rook a5, black's now completely okay, so bishop on d4 is a terrible blockader. The bishop needs to be here. So bishop d4 looks pretty bad. And black is better, yeah, because rook is here. Second rook is coming, bishop blockading, which means knight can chase the bishop. Knight's coming to c5. This pawn chain is aggressive, takes away the square, and white should have looked for ways to undermine the structure. But because of the structure, now this pawn is weak. So white has problems pinning for winning. Knight activates, and another pinning for winning idea. Because if you play b4, there's knight b3, and black is just winning. So he plays like this, bishop e4, with the idea of maybe capturing the knight and capturing the pawn. Yeah, so he plays like that, knight h5, okay, it's a good move. And now white needs to just stand, which is not easy. Yeah, this move is very hard to understand, because now the rook becomes absolutely critical. So knight d2 is a time trouble move. Although it's not, 9 minutes is still enough time, yeah. He had to find king h1, which is not easy. Yeah, just to stand. The idea is if you take, and you must take with the pawn, and then you go for f4 at some point. Yeah, it's kind of crazy actually. Yeah, knight b3, okay, makes sense, and you can just go back. Yeah. So white has pieces placed ideally, and there's not much black can do. cd. What else can you do? Yeah. All right, so let's see what happened in the game. In the game, he played the knight d2, and after this trade, black is just completely winning. He also missed this, and now black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 pawns for an exchange. Powerful bishop center, knight on h5 on the rim. This pawn is coming. King f8, very nice. Moves away the king from the checks. And white resigned. Hey, the great Anton, what's up? Yeah, so this was a very clean game by Gukesh, utilizing every mistake that Bakro did. Then we can take a look at this game. So it's King's Indian. I mean, usually plays King's Indian, but if you play King's Indian these days, you know, there's so many ways for white to get to, okay, maybe not an advantage, but to pose serious problems for black. f5 has to be played. Take knight g5 first. Not even taking on f5, knight g5. The idea that if you play h6, white can play this and queen h5. And it's a kind of big problems for black. Pretty sure this was home prep. So queen e7, logical. Bishop h5 still, because again, you need to prevent h6. If black forces the knight to move, then black is fine. And okay, king d2, probably also preparation. Bishop g6 looks good. But the problem is that after this move, even though white's king looks absolutely ridiculous, there's a lot of problems. Active bishop. I think white king is actually safer than this guy, yeah. So, like, if you play like this, you just lose the bishop, yeah. So, makes sense. So you have to see this move, which is not easy at all. And then black has compensation. So what happened, he played this, and after the trades, white is obviously better now, especially if you trade the queens. Black has like zero counterplay. But suddenly it's unclear. He needs to play 3b4 to get the pawn, a3, king f5. Apparently it's wrong, you had to play this move, and the idea is that you can trade this knight. Or if knight f6, knight f4. And then the second knight comes here. And tactical justification for this. Yeah, it's not easy to see all this. Okay, they should be able to. Rook h1, rook f7, reasonable. Knight b2 he finds, okay. Grab the pawn. So the knight can leave. And now rook infiltrates, yeah. Rook h3 protects the pawn. And black is absolutely okay, so what happens? b5. Okay. Critical mistake. Critical mistake on move 44. It's not easy to see why though, yeah. King g4, bishop d2, knight b6. And here, and probably there is no white to infiltrate fast enough, yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. So compared to the game, now the pawn on c7 is gone pretty much, yeah. King f5. Yeah, he thought that maybe if he takes here, he's fine, but after the check, black is in the Zugzwang. If you play b6, actually equal. Wait, okay, bishop must take, yeah, bishop must take. And black is Zugzwang because knight has to move, yeah. Knight has to move and you cannot stop this pawn. So he missed this one. That's what he missed. But if you cannot take the pawn on d5, you're just much worse. Yeah. All right. So we have 16 minutes until the tournament. Damien Rice, greetings. So black played well, but he miscalculated the very end. He had to find tactical resources entire game. At some point he just got tired, I guess. But he defended really well the whole game. Alright, we have 16 minutes. We have only 3 people signed up for the tournaments. Hello, Chess Lover. Yeah, guys, we have only 3 tournaments signed up for the tournament right now. We kind of need a little bit more people to join the event. Yeah, you should definitely sign up. If you're a club member, you're a club member. You have to be a club member for that. You join my club. You don't need even approval to join the club. I'll send the link in the chat. It's old club. I think you should be part of the club. Like you've been here before, like a few years ago or something. Should make it easy. Yeah, actually, probably people heard that I'm coming, so they have actually 1 GM, 1 IM. For the third league, this is very strong. So people are coming to spoil the tournament, the ascension to the higher league for our club. Which is fine. I probably should actually pin the club message. Yeah, let me pin the club message. Because if you join the club, then once you open the club, you see this tournament right here. And you can join it. Okay. So I'll just pin the message for the club then. Okay. And also the link to the tournament is on my stream description, I guess. So there are two ways, but club is better. All right. Okay, let's see. Oops. Okay, we have some time still, so let's go check more games. Yes, Gurel is the new talent from Turkey. They have actually a whole bunch of talents from Turkey. Very young, very strong. Keimer plays Queen f6, which is very popular. And castles, which is considered to be the best. So this line is considered to be good for black, but it's not easy to play. I mean, it's much easier to play for white. Much easier to play for white because you have the pawn majority, okay? So let's see what happens. D4. Bishop e6, of course, looks more natural, but okay, he wanted to trade the queens. And Vincent thought he was very safe playing this endgame, but in this particular endgame, white is just better. Black has no pair of bishops, double pawns, and white has the structure, so definitely the advantage white here. So let's see what happened. Knight d1 with the idea of knight d3 to take away the square from the knight. Reasonable, human. But now f5, and f5 is good for black because it's easier to stop these three pawns by these two than stop the whole pawn chain. Okay, so that's why this happens. White maintains small advantage, again thanks to the pawn formation. The knight should be actually here in the center. Okay, knight g3. Knight f4, white is still a little bit better, but now black managed to improve king, and now he's going to play a5, b4, with the threat of c4, c3, and just pushing the pawn advantage. Yeah, that's what black is doing, because white hasn't done that. So the trades, bishop e6 back, human. Yeah, you kind of need to start pushing your own pawns at 4, g4, f5. Because if you're slow, black might actually take over. Rook h8 looks good. white offers a draw and black accepts because they both see this line. Rook h2 and f5. Bishop f7. The bishop also comes. And check, king e5, rook e2. And white needs this knight. You cannot move this knight because this entire pawn chain falls. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. We have so far here, we have still 3 people. Somebody wanted to join the event. Probably got lost on the way. Yeah, guys, you can join to play for the club if you want. The idea is, you know, if we get active again, we start playing club events, we have a number of people playing for the team, we can move up, play stronger opponents, and also participate potentially in the stream battles with real prizes on Lichess. Okay? So it would be very helpful if you come and play. Because if nobody comes and plays, then, you know, it makes no sense for me to spend a lot of energy trying to reactivate the club. Yeah, so I'm trying to, you know, make the club active again, make more events. Yeah, but I'm not the youngster anymore, so, you know, energy is limited. So I'm gonna try it like for a month. If it's not gonna happen, if we're not gonna have active turnout, then I guess I'll just close the club for good. So let's see how this works out. If this works out, then we can do some events, etc., etc. All right, the link to my club, if you want to join, is at the top of the chat. The link to the tournaments will be once you join the club. It will be in the tournaments at the top of the tournament list. And the link to the tournament is also in the chat in the Twitch stream description. Thanks for the follows. Alrighty. Oops. I have zero doubt that we'll face quite a few cheaters. Online chess and cheaters is like synonymous. So nothing you can do about that. But because especially because it's not a prize money event, so you know, no reason to get really upset. Playing the engines is also good for your practice. But when it comes to the prize money events, of course, that's not practice. And the people who cheat, they're committing an actual crime. So that's the difference. Okay, so the tournament starts in 6 minutes. Let's see if people will show up. Спасибо, солнышко. Okay. Yeah. My wife is my right hand and my right supporter. Yeah. So I'm getting some support materials before this tournament. What do I think about that GM losing his title? It's hard to say, man. I don't know. I think title maybe a little bit too much. Don't worry about losing. It's fine. It's a practice, plus you get better. I might go over some games from this event for my subscribers if they're interested. We can discuss what went wrong, but it's a brief look. Yeah, so I think stripping of the title was a little bit too much. He is already punished like for 3 years. He is unable to play. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I think title is a little bit too much. I mean, the guy clearly plays at the level of Grandmaster. So that's kind of pointless, to be honest. And this incident kind of like ruined his chess career permanently, pretty much. It will be interesting to see if he can rise like Phoenix and go grab the GM title and then qualify for the World Chess Championship. He can do it, but it's not going to be easy, yeah, because he's not going to get any tournament invitations. So, hey, Mr. Quantenhurst, what's up? 5 players already. Refresh, sure. Yep, thanks very much. All right, Mr. Lucullus, if you're asking about my 3rd book, then I have a fair question for you. Have you read my first 2 books then? All right, people, we have club event, team event starting in less than 3 minutes. You read the first one, but not the second one, yeah? All right. Well, I thought that actually 2 volumes was my complete work, because I've been retired after that, and yeah, I have some games, but I mean, what am I gonna write about? Like my retired chess life? Like seriously? What kind of book will that be? So, I don't know. I have some games, I've been working on it like very occasionally. I kind of stopped working on it for a bit now, but 1/3 of the book is done. I mean, for the game selection. But I just don't think there will be any interest in the book, to be honest. So there is not much motivation to do it. There's so many books coming, so many youngsters, new stars rising. Yeah, so the story that I wanted to tell was completed in 2 volumes. That's it. Well, I think I will leave that book to Vladimir. He will do a much better job than I do. And I actually kind of agree with him about a lot of things he says. I mean, the guy does so much research. I think he has a bunch of people who are helping him to track down the statistics, anomalies. Yeah, he's doing so much work. All right, the tournament starts in 36 seconds. Let's see. We have more people. We have 8 people. All right. All right, guys, let's go and get them. Again, if you're my subscribers, after the event, I will look at some of your games, make some comments. Okay, but you'll have to tell me which game you want me to
9, 8, 7, 6.
Good luck.
5,
Don't forget about berserking.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And I'm playing 2500 actually. That's pretty strong. Untitled 2500 player. He actually is berserking against me. That's kind of balls. Very ballsy. That is massive balls. Can I play this? So b5 runs into e5, yeah? That's the thing. Okay, if I play queen c7, he's still preparing this e5, which is kind of unpleasant, yeah. I should have played knight b4 actually before that. That would have been better. e5 still a threat. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm completely lost, and this is gonna be reports. Pretty obvious. Yeah, that's the engine user. Okay. This guy is using engines. That's obvious now. This bishop g6 trick. Obvious engine use, man. Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. Yeah. Bishop b4 is coming, everything is coming. Yeah, it's just disgusting to play this. Absolutely disgusting to play this, guys. Yep. Nothing can do. Just report them. That's it. What is the plan? Bishop on h4 is actually pretty bad, yeah. It's pretty bad, but okay, you should not play g5, because now the square is very bad. The square is very bad. Yeah, c4 is kind of not that great. Yeah, that previous game pissed me off. I mean, the guy is such an obvious cheater. Really pissed me off. It's just some kid thinks it's cool to brag to his friends about it. Whatever. I should not have given this pawn to him, but okay. He's trying to fix the center so I can start hitting these things. we have a lot of people. We have 11 people playing. Thanks guys for coming. Yeah, probably should just start playing Hippo. That immediately becomes clear who's cheating and who's not, pretty much. Also, I should have berserked, maybe. B5 don't want to happen. So let's see. Then we go forwards. Can trade this. Remember how I said trading your opponent's superior pieces? That's what I'm doing. That is exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, my has knight g3, that's true. Then I have this, yeah. So how does that work? How does this work? Probably he is okay. Take bishop check, so take. Take here, check. Knight 4. Push extra stuff. I mean, I want to push the pawns, yeah, so I don't know what were you doing. Yeah, you can do that. Forgot about that. It's actually a pretty bad move. His bishop is now very strong, yeah? This bishop is very strong. So there's actually a lot of pawns going there. Oh my god. There's a lot of pawns rolling towards you, buddy. lot of time, man. I have a lot of time. Yeah, at some point it was kind of crazy. Yeah, my king got. I was absolutely winning, and then I got careless and I blundered rook d7, which is kind of weird. All right. Yeah, 2.5 minutes should be enough. G4, knight G4. It's pretty interesting. G4, bishop F6. Yeah, probably should just play rook e1 or something. This is not an untitled player. Another engine user, okay. And you guys were talking about cheating. You have cheaters, so many cheaters here. It's not even funny. It's gonna be another report, obviously. So obviously going to be another report. like king e4 is better, so he wants to play b5. Okay. Ah, but I cannot take this pawn. Cannot take this pawn. Another report. Yeah. Managed not to lose -7 position. I should quit for today. Well, up to you. Thank you for coming, guys. I mean, thank you for coming. You stay for as long as you can. It's okay. Alright, so this is all theory. Pretty much. Yeah, that's how that's why you don't block the center. You want him to push his pawns so you can all right, we are on the 9th place. Yeah. Well, since we are so successful, we should probably continue playing like this, yeah. Now it's kind of sort of ready. Actually, maybe the pawn should be on a4 here. Okay, I just want to play this position. I want to see what this is. Yeah, so the pawn should be here. It's okay. Keep going. Although black plays a lot of engine moves, which is not a good sign. Not a good sign. I have 0 attack, yeah, so another engine user, pretty much. Another engine abuser. What can I say? I guess the desire to kick my ass is so strong that people resort to cheating. Okay. Can't change human nature. The scissors don't work. See, another perfect move. How many of you would play queen d8 in this position? I would bet none of you will play this. This guy plays it like almost instantly. Crazy. Because stops h5. This bishop should be here, of course, but you know, working with what we got. What can I say? Queen d8 looks natural to you guys? Okay. Once you see the move, of course, it's easy to make a connection, but try to come up with this move yourself. Yeah, of course people will say it looks natural, yeah, sure. Alright, I'll just stop commentating this because it's pretty obvious you guys are biased. B4 maybe, yeah. Yeah, let the cheating reign. I don't care. Yeah, I forgot. This is one of the reasons why I stopped playing regular events on the platforms. I pretty much just keep only streaming my events because the amount of cheaters is ungodly, especially against me. They're also fucking tempted. They're all tempted to beat the former challenger for the world title, yeah. It's like brings the worst in people. Yeah, I think he started playing himself because he is now like lost track of the game. At this point it would be safe to say that Black plays himself. He clearly is playing obvious blunders. Pretty obvious blunders. 28 seconds. See, that's a huge difference. I mean, the way he played this position and before that, yeah, it's two different people playing. I should actually let them check this guy, because I think that was a very sus game. Not exports. Okay, I don't have. Yeah, this is a very complicated procedure. Fun game. The big question, do I want his bishop? It's kind of ugly looking bishop. I don't really want it. We can keep it. We can keep this ugly dude. And the big question is what I'm gonna do now, yeah. king doesn't have any place to go. Fine, I'll take the bishop. I'll take the bishop. Okay, let's dance. No, but okay, I'm very happy about this because now I have a lot of connections, right connections. Yes, my king is a little bit vulnerable, I agree. I agree. Check. Now I can actually protect this thing. It's fine. Ah, he made a draw. Ah, okay, fine. Can I protect against that? Yeah, I mean, it's obviously winning, but okay. I got relaxed, yeah. Too much relax. Okay, good job. Nice swindle, man. Nice swindle. Embarrassing. Yeah. Well, if he's on title and berserker against me, that's pretty much immediately obvious that this guy is a cheat. Pretty much. You don't have to have brain to figure that one out. Yeah. So the whole point is you don't castle. Whole point you don't castle. So you can castle on both sides. The other point is you can play this move and try to fight for the center. So it's like hedgehog, but it's a better version of the hedgehog, I guess. So you got this nice square. Actually, I should have played h4, g5, and queen h5. Yeah. That would be a normal way to play this position. Queen e2 is actually not that great. Okay, let's stop a4. Give him this red herring square. It's a red herring square. Knight here does absolutely nothing. The knight here does absolutely nothing. I should have taken this pawn maybe. I'm trying to get this f4 going. It's not gonna be easy. e5 is very interesting, actually. It's very interesting. Bishop b2, keeping the bishop here is also fine. Hitting stuff. Now it's time to do something, maybe this. We have huge center, we have huge initiative. GG. Did I report any cheaters? Yes. Did I catch them? No, I don't catch them. I report them. Lichess is supposed to catch these guys, okay? Yeah. It's kind of improved version of the hedgehog. You can put this pawn here. It's more aggressive than here. But now it's called Pierce instead of the hedgehog. You can still play it as a hedgehog though. This should not be that good because it plays into this pawn break. Actually, why am I playing 5 minutes? I should have played. Okay, but I can still play this fast, yeah. I can still play this fast. It's like really good Drake. I want to say Drake, but it's a dragon, yeah. It's not really Drake. Drake, my god. Magic the Gathering, yeah. C4, huh? It's playable. So should this be playable? Trying to get that thing going. The C4 is very, very logical but strange at the same time. Logical but strange. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Normally you would play knight d7, knight c5, and then e6, because this knight is not that good. Your knight is better than his knight. But okay, this is blitz game. I'm also not playing against the best players, so I'm allowed some inaccuracies. This you can pretty much take. Give this exchange up. This exchange is meaningless. Because this bishop is very, very strong, especially with this pawn. Hit the knight first. Now I can take this pawn. Thank you for the pawn. That's kind of important pawn too. Everything is hit. See, this is how 2100 online player plays, okay? Not like those guys who play like at 90% accuracy. So it's very easy for me to spot cheaters immediately. Andromeda, thanks man for coming. Thank you all guys for coming. Yeah, it's a little bit early for you, I guess, yeah, but okay. We now have... Wait, what? Yeah, we have 12 people here. Thank you guys for coming. Pavel, thank you for coming, by the way. All right. And I can play this, yeah. That becomes the... I'm very happy about the queen trades. E5 immediately, probably. I want to open the bishop. Now this knight has to figure out like where he needs to be. I would say small advantage for white, because temporarily I have this huge thing here. Temporarily I have huge thing there. Bishop g4, he wins the tempo. Very smart. Knight c5, knight e5, what is it? I guess black is actually a little bit better. Yeah, I misplayed my position. I misplayed a little bit my position. Should still be okay though. He's got some choices to make. Yeah, I would love this bishop to be here, which I should have done like a long time ago, but okay. Can't have everything, yeah. Yeah, f6 looks correct. I have to play this. And probably g4, bishop d3. I mean, it should be playable. Should be playable. Now things get very unclear. Extremely messy, let's put it this way. It's not easy for him to protect this thing. Looks easy, but it's not. It's So I can play this, yeah. Why can I take this? Yeah, I have to be a little bit careful where the king goes. Should not have given him that pawn. I should not have given him that pawn. Yeah, misplaying this. Misplaying this. Rook e2 check is a threat also, yeah. Yeah, he completely blundered the last few moves. Completely blundered last few moves. You guys at work, thank you for coming anyway. Yeah, I mean, bishop g7, any move pretty much. Any move was good. Yeah, I think after I got the exchange, I relaxed. I should be completely winning, but you need still to be accurate, and I wasn't. Yeah, and he immediately got chances again. But okay. I'm gunning for #1 position, which is not going to be easy. Okay, a regular hippo, why not? Take. Alright, I forgot how I play here. Take. I think it takes here, yeah. Something like this. And we get this h4. Fine. pretty strong play from untitled player, especially in this position. Something. C2. Is that what he wants? It's a second check, I completely forgot about it. Yeah, safe king is very important. Once you get your king safe, then it's a lot easier to play. Okay, so black is fine here. Just gotta make sure there are no unpleasant surprises. You can play like this. Actually, this is... I wanted to play d5, but then I stopped, but I touched the pawn, yeah? So, ideally don't play like this, okay? That's what I wanted to play. white is actually fine. I misplayed my position, I should have taken with this pawn. Now he gets my pawn. Now he actually takes, and I should have played knight c5, knight d3, my god. It's terrible. Alright. Thank you for allowing me to correct my mistake. That was kind of nice of you. You guys see it, yeah? When I took the rook, queen protects the bishop. Instead of taking the rook, so tactics is kind of important. Usually the lower level elo people don't play equally well tactical or strategic positions. Usually one prevails. So it's important to note, okay? If your opponent's playing well in strategy, if he's like under 2400, that means, you know, he might blunder tactics, okay? So if you're in dire straits, go for the tactics. I'm actually first place in the event, but okay, we finally face the colleague, so we're gonna play normal chess, normal London. Bishop g5 is not correct, by the way. Okay, let's keep the tension. Let's keep the tension up. I should have just went with the bishop here or something. It would have made more sense. It would have clearly made more sense. Okay, now this is critical position, I think. This looks like critical position. White should be a little bit better here. Should be. No guarantees. But this is pretty nasty threat. So let's see how he handles this. Bless you. Пожалуйста. Okay. But I can still play this, yeah? I understand. It's completely winning, yes? Okay. Alright. $37 points. Personal points. How's our team doing? 12 people playing. Thank you for playing. Alright, this guy played, I don't know how many games. There's also 2500 in bullet, 2200. Mr. Chernmao came, played once. Mr. Quantenhurst played quite a few games. All right. Let's go back to the hippo. Ignore this. Now you have the square for your knight, which is pretty good. Castles. Now both knights have good squares. It's kind of important. Let's stop this. Tempo. Now he just blunders. Okay, now that's true 1800 player. He just blundered the bishop. Yeah, he keeps blundering stuff. Alright. I mean, I can take this pawn, but okay, like, you know, that is a little bit too much. Okay. Or fine, I'll take this pawn then. Yeah. Because now there is no more check. Knights on c5 and f5 in the enemy territory are like worth the weight in gold, man. Alright, grabbing more stuff. I don't know, I'm like so confused. Alright, let's step back. Once we remove this defender, it's white's completely winning. So that's how we remove the defender. He's kind of pinned. I can play like that, I can play like this. I also attack your queen. Then I have a check. Actually, he can give me some checks, but okay. Fine. Protect absolutely everything. Have I covered any Grand Swiss games? Yes, yeah, a little bit before the tournament. A little bit before the tournament, sure. Yeah, so guys who are subscribers, make note of the games you're playing today in the events and choose one game so I can go over them. That's one of the ways to make things interesting for you. Okay, fine. b4 is coming whether I want it or not, yeah. I want to take this thing. 96. Very good strategic understanding this untitled player shows. This draw shows me that he's cheating. This draw offer tells me everything I need to know about what this guy is doing. I mean, I can see by the moves that, you know, a lot of ancient stuff. I mean, so fucking obvious. Don't need half a brain to see what he is doing. Now that all the pawns are covered by his bishop, okay. Yeah, so part of the strategy. That's how the ancients play. Typish ancient play. I need to stop f4. It's the only way I can stop it. Of course, immediately he plays this. Of course. I'm not even surprised. Immediate move, yeah. It's enough to report him. It's actually enough to report him. Pretty obvious cheating. Pretty obvious cheating. H5. Yeah, that bishop is perfect where he is, because he covers so many squares. This is a good move. If queen moves, then he takes the pawn, so I have no choice but to play this. The reason he did this because otherwise I play here and immediately win these pawns. But of course the cheater knows this. So that guy is reported for cheating. Alright, what's going on here? Yeah. I'm trying to stop f5, obviously. Let's see if I if I have succeeded in that matter. Let's grab the square away from the knight and block the bishop. Yeah. Now that we block the bishop completely, white should be better, theoretically speaking. f6, my god, this guy is just... What is he doing? Knight is kind of strong though. This knight is kind of strong. This might be wrong. And now this knight on e5 is very strong. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember this guy. Yeah, he made a draw with me last time. He made a draw with me last time. This is still weak. 16 more minutes. Mr. Tiranmao, how's your tactical vision these days? I hope you continue doing those tactical exercises. I need to stop this thing, yeah. So that's the reason for this move. Now I can stop this completely. And black should be better. That's ballsy. Because white's threat exactly c3. Make sure we hit this guy. Can probably go e5 even here at some point then. Ouch, not a good move. Okay, that actually is also fine, yeah. That actually is also fine. Now this is getting very complicated. But he starts to blunder, yeah? He's starting to blunder stuff. Should have been knight b3, easy win. I missed. I can still take it though. Yeah, but his rook is here, which is unclear completely. He should have played bishop c3, I think. That's what he should have played. I need to cover this rook. Still not a bad game from untitled player. Not a bad game at all. Posing problems, surprisingly. h4. Don't want to trade. I need time to play this. He can try to stop me. So you have to watch out for this check, yeah. That's the thing you have to watch out for. Hey, Mr. Van Ricci. Good evening. You managed to come to the last 10 minutes of the tournament? Ah, I played this guy again. Ah, the bishop should be on c4 actually. Keep forgetting my work. Okay. It's not so bad. So the bishop goes here to protect this pawn in case black makes the battery here. Alright, now let's put the bishops back so they don't get hit. With knights or pawns or whatever. Now we have to remaneuver our construction a little bit. Le construction project. Okay, this is pretty much always a5. It's pretty much always a5. You can break this pawn chain and create the chain for your pawns. That will be good. Rook a5 was also playable, of course. Knight on d2 is actually protecting the other knight. This knight on a5 will not be maybe good. Yeah. Just as this guy is saying. I'm trying to block this bishop completely. Maybe work, maybe doesn't, who knows. Obviously you take this pawn without having second thoughts. Now we need to move it here. How do you move it as there? Yeah, good question. Could be one rook b8, queen d2, knight e4, queen c2, which is most logical. Knight e6, thanks. I can just give it the pawn. I don't like giving free stuff. Yeah, this guy is still cheating. This guy is still cheating, obviously. Yeah, he's cheating again. Fucking bastard. I have no idea what this is. He's trying to throw me off the scent, I guess. Making some ridiculous moves. But yeah, that's the reason why he played King F8, yeah. So he can play this. Now it's pretty clear, yeah. Of course he finds this move. Of course he finds this move. And he's starting to make mistakes, being long time. Takes with the knight. Knight is probably the best. Knight d4 is potential threat, I guess. Check. Looks still good. Using pinning for winning thing. absolutely everything. Yeah. See, the way he plays in the endgame when he's low on time and starts to blunder everything, and compared to the middle game. Telltale sign. We are good. We have an untitled player in the first place. No, but okay. I mean, the way he played the middle game and the opening part was like he was grandmaster level, and then the end game he plays like beginner. Yeah, two different people playing. That's why I reported him. I mean, it's so obvious to spot the cheaters. They think they're so smart. Yeah. All right, the tournament is over. All right, people, subscribers who played this tournament. What games you want me to look at? Let's start with. All right, let's start with. Who are we gonna start with? Yeah, our team is in last place, but we have 14 people who came. Thank you guys for coming. All right, Mr. Quantenhurst. Let's take a look at your games. Any specific game you have in mind? Hey, Random Degen. Thank you guys for coming. Good job. 14 people came. Awesome. The fact that we're in last place doesn't matter. It's relevant. The fact that you came is all that matters. Ah, you're still in the game. Ah, then maybe we can watch another game. All right, let's see. Where is his game? I cannot see the game. Huh. I can't see the games. Wow. It's kind of weird. I'm actually following. Not sure. Yeah, didn't count for the points. Okay. Right. Which game you think was interesting? So let's start with you. I have a list of games here. You played actually in IM with 2300, and you played 2100 guy. All right. That's not bad. Interesting. Third game was what? Bondarenko Dmitry. Alright, let's take a look. So you're playing black, yeah? Okay. 5. Oh yeah, this line. Yeah, so e6 is normal, but you kind of give him French defense with the tempo, I think. Yeah. So the idea is like to play c5, knight c6, and try to get the bishop out first, and then e6 maybe. Yeah, bishop f5 is actually first line. And e6. That's the whole point of the Caro-Kann, right? To getting the bishop out. So that would have made more sense. Okay. Then playing e6, because now you kind of tempo down in the French. Here the point of the French is you try to trade this bishop pair, because this bishop is good. Okay. And because you're a little bit in a passive position, you kind of want to trade some pieces to, so the rest of the pieces, they have more room. It's like normal thing in chess, yeah. Trade more stuff so you get more room. My God, that's a huge storm outside.
It's wonderful.
All right, yeah, I guess it's wonderful. Yeah, this is not the place for the knight. Knight usually goes to f5 or stays here, yeah. So c5 was the thing to consider. Okay. All right. It's here, c5, good. Knight c6. Again, the possibility, you know how in the French they play queen b6 and try to trade the bishops. But because your knight is on g6, you know, white now has the option to play f5, which is why you never put knight on g6 in the French, pretty much. Alright, knight c6, logical. Take, knight takes, okay. Okay, logical. b6 here. Okay, why not? Preparing bishop c5. This is too early, yeah? This is too early, and this, okay. And he blundered knight h4, yes. Tactics, yeah. Knight h4 pattern. Whenever you see queen and rook and knights, always check for the forks. So castles. Oh, he keeps blundering it, okay. So you're completely winning. Oh, you had an extra queen, okay. So what went wrong? Grab the pawn, protect, okay. Grab another pawn. You can pretty much just raise this pawn for the next queen. Nothing he can do. Mating attack, yeah. It's fine. Yeah, you don't actually need this stuff. You don't need to open your king at all. So when you have material advantage, what you need to do is try to exchange pieces into the pawn endgame. And you reduce attacking potential of your opponent that way also. And minimize your threat. I mean, it's obviously still winning. Yeah, consider trading again the rook, like rook f4 here and rook f5, yeah? So you're trading the attacking potential. I mean, it's still completely winning. Again, rook f4, yeah? Okay. Again, completely winning. Double the rooks, start attacking. Queen b7, a little bit too passive. Oh. Okay. Still winning. But that's a pawn. Okay. Right, you definitely need to learn how to attack. That's for sure. You're playing very strategic chess and you lost on time. Okay, completely winning. Yeah, don't apologize. Priorities, guys. Come on, guys. No problem, chess lover. Yeah, it's fine. Come on. It's just a tournament. Not even an important tournament at all. Don't worry, man. Drive safely. That's way more important. All right. So, Mr. Quantenhurst, embarrassing loss? No, not really. It's Blitz game. Anything goes. But what were the things that you take home after playing this game? Yeah. All right. Let's see you do the summary. What is the summary of things you can do better? That's like always, yeah, the takeaway lessons. Let's see. Like there should be like at least one or two things. Okay. I don't even want you to list everything. It's very hard to see for you at this level, but you know, understanding ideas of the French, trading down when up on material, forcing stuff. Okay. Right. Yep, that's a good start. The ideas of the French, the way you understand them is pretty much you have to go either with the classics or you have to take a look at the way modern people play French. Look at the top grandmaster games, who are the best current French players. One of the specialists is Bacro. The other specialist, I would say, is Aronian. He prepared French specifically for the Single Cup. And also if you play Caro, yeah, because you play Caro, then you should definitely look up Karpov games. Yeah, he played Caro like all his life. And it's a classic. Okay, so you pretty much take a look at the way he played. This f4 line is pretty unusual. I do recall Naka played it. Okay, Naka played it, the way he played it was he played f4 c3 and bishop d3 or something. Yeah, it was like here, and then he played this, and then he didn't play d4, he played bishop d3. So, yeah. But okay, again, the main thing if you play Kara is like get that bishop out. Very few times you play e6. The only time I can think of is, for example, in this line, yeah, d5, they play e5, bishop f. Where do they play this? There was this c4 line where they play sometimes. Yeah, because here you play bishop f5 immediately, yeah. Yeah, there's some lines like f3, for example, yeah. That's the first line that comes to mind. Also very, very dangerous line for black, to be honest. And here one of the main moves is actually e6. Because if e5, then it's kind of transposition. But the old main line is e5. And that's a lot of fun, yeah. Extremely dangerous for black. But okay. And also sometimes black plays queen b6, e5. I remember, if you remember, Jabava played it. It was like, he's had crazy games with Zvanchuk. All right. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Just make sure you analyze, some of the games. Guys, if you play this tournaments, check and analyze some of the games, okay? And, always analyze your games. All right, who is next? Who among my subscribers played this event and won some games looked at? Gentlemen, raise your hand. Jabao got slaughtered by Gelfand today. Yeah, he went for the very risky opening, and Boris just... You don't do that against Boris, yeah? All right. Okay, who else? Any interesting games? Mr. Tiran Mao, you played it, yeah? Ah, Damian, okay. Wait, what is your nickname? I don't see you here. What's your nickname? Oh, okay. All right, let's see. And we're looking at the game versus Tiski. Okay, let's see it. All right. All right, so, this is what I play with black also, yeah. So, knight f3 is fine, but if you're okay with the scotch, yeah, you can play d4. Also, if they play knight c6, you can play knight f3, is fine, okay? Because then black is forced to play either Scandinavian or transpositions. But okay, d4 is fine. d5 is also fine. There's some lines where white has advantage here. I think h4 is like one of the main moves, to be honest. But knight f3 is also possible. And the idea was that if black plays bishop c5, at some point you can trick him with b4, queen a4 stuff. Yeah, h4 here, h5. I think it's still c4, and the bishop c5, you play knight c3, and the idea is if you play d6, you can play this. Okay, and you kind of grab this bishop, and you have pair of bishops, which is a little bit better for black. So black sometimes play this, but then you can even go for this bishop trade. Yeah, why not? Because with the pawn on h4, you have now the square for your knight. So every time he plays f5, your knight on g5 will be unstoppable. Okay, and then it becomes not a bad King's Indian for you. So you can play like this. There are many ways to play this. Bishop g5, knight c3. I don't know. That I don't know. Okay, but okay, let's see. Knight f3. Take. You play this line. Okay, good. Playable. Yeah. So c3, knight f6, c5, d5 here. No. Yeah, you don't play this line. You play this line. You play this line and this line. Okay. Bishop b4 check. Bishop d2. Bishop b6 is standard. Then you play this, or knight c3. And it's a huge theoretical line here. And something like this, yeah. Because you're not scared about this. Because now this bishop is bad and you have pair of bishops and a huge attack, yeah. f5, f4, knight e7, h4, bishop here, rook c8 with idea of c5. Your king moves, don't castle, you need the rook here. And you kind of just play the structure, yeah? Because this pawn is needs constant protection, because you're gonna hit it. So h5, don't play h6. He'll try to put the knight on e6 and block this thing, but he cannot really do it. Yeah, knight d8, bishop f3. So queen b5 is a very interesting spot. Yeah, protects. Then rook d1, knight d8, and you can even go back. I don't know about king g2. I mean, it's very difficult for black to play this because he's still hitting a lot of things. He has no entry points. Hitting the pawn, f7. Now king is completely protected and you're threatening to sort of start hitting stuff. Bishop f3 makes sense. Rook d8. Okay, that's one of the ways to play this, okay? There probably are easy ways to play this position. Because this is very tactical. I know there's a lot of theory here, but black is supposedly okay. That I remember. So what you can also do here, you can play this. I think this is even simpler. And play this line. Normally black plays this. And then it's a pretty famous draw. If you want to draw. It's very difficult for black to do anything about it. Because if he doesn't play this, then you kind of gain the center. And it's advantage white. Alright. Okay, let's see what you've done. Yeah, I mean, pair of bishops, attack, extra material for black. You're just much worse. And he blunders, yeah. Well, blunder is nice. That means you're much better. Knight c2. Knight e4, kind of important move, but okay, bishop g3. This is not really necessary. You should take. You're worried about the castling, yeah, but okay. If he castles long side, then this bishop is the killer bishop, yeah. So king g7. Yeah, rook d2 is coming. Now you, and he blunders again. And he blunders again. And you win this, yeah? Okay. So, yes, Quentin Hurst. I was actually trying to recall that line too. Yes, c5, dc, e6. Yes, correct. That's where you play it, yeah. They're both equally strong. It's just Jabawa went for a very risky line and very risky. And of course, Boris will just punish you. All right. Got it? All right. Who else? Who else won some of the games from the tournament? Checked. Subscribers. How long is this event? It's over, Andromeda. It's over. Yeah. This one? All right, let's see. Okay. All right, you are, wait. No problem. Chess lover, what side are you playing? Are you Leonid Stein? My God. Yeah, okay, you're the Leonid Stein, okay. It's famous player, yeah? Okay, bishop g5, d5. Normally you should strike immediately with c5 because f3 breaks the pawn chain you should immediately strike at the center. This is also not bad, very solid. Traditionally, don't try to castle so early, because then white can play f4, knight f3, like sort of go for an attack. So try to do some things here, like c5, knight c6, maybe even trade the bishop, okay? It's not bad. h6, okay. c5, correct. Yeah, don't take this thing, because he just managed to get rid of his bad pawn, okay? So the main idea in this line is for you to go for the e5 break. That's one of the main ideas. If white tries to stop it, then you get the square for your pieces. Yeah, then you can play knight e4, and any trade on e4 is okay for you, because then your bishop comes out. So knight c6 and e5, okay, and for example, something like this is good. Okay, it's first line, but okay, it makes sense to open the center, and then this pawn chain makes no sense. After you take it, it's Carlsbad structure. I mean, you're still okay, but yeah, knight e5, okay, queen, queen c7, and with idea of e5, yeah. The reason why e5 works here is because this pawn chain is not that great. Also, you can play this. Play this, and if the trade, then you play e5. And now, see, these pawns, they weaken squares. This square is important because knight could go like this, yeah? But if he plays b3, then this pawn is weak. Requires constant attention. So you actually have superior structure and superior pieces, yeah? You can also chase this bishop, and then this bishop and queen start to poke some weaknesses. So remember e5, okay? e5 in London is kind of important. Bishop d7, you develop pieces, but yeah, it's not bad. Developing is good, I can only approve, but you need to move your queen, okay? This is not that good, yeah, sure. Take, correct. And now you have this wonderful square, yeah? Wonderful square. So advantage black, because again, holes in white position. White usually, as a compensation for this isolated pawn, he develops an attack, but not here. So bishop b5, come on. Bishop b5, more active spielen, yeah? Absolutely. Queen d3, okay, a6 with idea of bishop b5. Knight goes back, correct. The other knight goes here, bishop g5, well played. The only thing is here, f5 is pretty standard in this position. You close this bishop forever. And also this bishop now has like no life, yeah? He also closes this rook. So your knight is actually better than the bishop here. Only when the bishop moves here, then you consider taking him. Although he wants probably to go here, and you can chase him with b5, okay? So now you can play knight c2, but you kind of want a tempo, because the pawn f5 is useful always. Takes away a lot of squares from white pieces, and he is paralyzed a little bit, yeah. So f5 is okay, don't worry about this. If you think it's pawn weakening, no, it's standard move in this structure. Alright, knight e4, the bishop moves, not sure why here, but okay, why not? And you take, but if you take, you open the bishop, yeah? You immediately open the bishop and give him the square. Yes, you have this diagonal, it's not easy to get to it, okay. Bishop c6, human, knight c3, stops rook c1, then you play knight e2 and bishop c6, and you make sure, you know, your bishop dominates, yeah? So a5 is wrong, forces the trade. Now a beautiful knight versus bad bishop, classic, big advantage. Allows bishop c5, and now your rook is compromised, yeah? So important to get the rook in first, and now you can play your queen somewhere. Not sure about queen f5. I would actually personally consider playing g5 here to stop f4, but yeah, queen b3 with idea of rook c2 maybe. I mean, yeah, we have to figure out like where your things go, yeah? So you see queen f5 and then g5. So I think g5 is correct. You also get a luft, but you also disconnect these pawns, okay? So if rook f2, Then queen go here, and he doesn't have f4. And that means you can play this, h4, h3, okay? Thanks to this rook, takes away the square. h4, h3, and then the first rank will be very, very, very bad for white. So huge problems, your pieces are active. Okay, so queen b2, bishop c5. Very hard to win this. You managed to get the rook in. The knight on c4 actually is not bad. Okay, he blunders, yeah. He blundered absolutely everything, but the g5, g4 is not necessary. So, how do you win this? The rook is kind of outside, yeah. No, g5 is fine. And g4 is actually pretty human. I like this move. I like this move, but the engine doesn't, yeah. So let's see. So one of the ways, the reason the engine suggests this is you can push the pawn. So if check here, now you play this. You can play this, okay. Tactics, yeah, tactics. Rook f2 and the pawn queens. And if he plays king f1, then 93. Yeah, so good idea, but implementation not correct, yeah. And now white is completely okay. Oh, he blundered 94. You got very lucky here, yeah, at the end. Yeah, very, very lucky here. Okay, so not bad. Demonstrated not a bad understanding. Missed some finesses, but overall I'm pretty happy except your endgame. Yeah, and the endgame, you know, the only thing I would suggest maybe is not take this pawn. Maybe not take this pawn. I mean, you do want to take this pawn, yeah, but it's just that the rook is now not so active. Take on e5, maybe advantage is not that large, yeah. Yeah, actually it's first line, so first line, yeah, but you need to, yeah, h5 is very hard to see, to be honest. This whole line was h5, g4, h4 is not easy, yeah. I agree. Okay, well played. Yeah. Well played, yeah. f5 was the key moment, yes. f5 was very important. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, Leonid Stein was a very, very romantic player. All right, anybody else? Mr. Arsenal Fanrici, you want to check some games? You only played one game, yeah? You only played one game, let's check it. All right, not bad. Theoretical h6 you don't really need, yeah, because you might need to play g6 to stop this thing. And actually, because he is playing like this, the bishop pretty much always goes to g4. Potentially you can even play bishop g6 if you want to stop this, but you need to create pressure on the center, yeah. Like here, 95 is already, white might be the one who is under attack, yeah. Pinning for winning, remember? So bishop g4 in this structure is good. c4 is okay, but you need time to get b5 in, yeah. To get this time is a big question. Queen c2 is kind of weird. Yeah. Queen c2 again. Bishop h5, it's not bad. But maybe it's not so good, yeah. Yeah, this is dynamic position. This is the kind of position that you actually should study, because this is not easy to play. This is very logical, but after 95 you have problems, yeah, because now this bishop is bad and potentially can fall for h3, g4, f4, and you don't really want to take this. But you did, yeah? Okay, because now you need to move the knight, and he misplayed it, yeah? Queen d1, and he can grab the pawn. Alright, now it's equal again. Queen c7 is fine. Yeah, you kind of need to start pushing these pawns immediately. You have the pawn majority here, you need to use it. Remember the rule, yeah? Correct. This is very bad. He helps you actually to move the pawns. Okay. Rook d8 is human. But Queen c6, there is nothing wrong with this. But okay, it's not easy to see this combo, yeah? But even without this combo, you can pretty much trade this rook, and you're still better. You're still better because this bishop is completely enclosed, okay? And you're just better. The idea is later to set this thing and play for the c3 break, okay? Slowly. So rook d8 is fine. b3 is okay. You got a wonderful pawn. Good job. Yeah, you can play h5. Okay. Queen e6 is fine. Okay, he just blunders absolutely everything. Good for you. Of course, he needs to take this file, okay, before you take over and infiltrate. Okay. Finally. Yeah, you don't need this. Rook a2. Rook a1 with the idea of pinning first and then c2. Interesting, but c2. Yeah, the problem now is that, okay, this is a mistake, yeah? Ah, it's not so easy because maybe you thought you can play this and take, but then check here and he still has his pawn alive. Yeah, now, my god, this is crazy game you have. Absolutely crazy game, man. Rook b1, yeah? Rook c1, yeah. And now white is fine. White is better in winning, yeah. Oh my god, look at this resource. Okay, I didn't see this. Bishop h4, check. And rook g1 with the idea of mate, okay? Guys, this is good pattern to know, okay? Check. And it takes rook g1. And mate is coming. This is one of those patterns that is kind of useful for you. So the king moves, then you can play this and put the bishop here. So that forces trades and the draw, okay? So recognize mating patterns, those are important. All right, b4, grab the pawn. Bishop kind of doesn't know where to go. So a lot of blitzing. And finally it's completely equal. And black is better. And black is winning, but it's a draw. You flagged him or something? Ah, it's a draw anyway. All right, fun game. That was a very fun game, by the way. Very complicated. This one game is worth the whole tournament, okay, for you. So what you need to do is you need to analyze that opening a little better, the developments. c4 is only one of the plans, okay? You need to look at some other plans that you can play. And also once you have the c4, you have to figure out like where the pieces should go. Okay. All right, anybody else? Do we have anybody else from my subscriber team? I see Mr. Tiran Mao. Not volunteering. Okay. All right, guys, but most of all, thank you for coming. I don't know if Pavel's here. I remember he said he had a lot of things today. But Pavel, thank you for coming, man. Appreciate it. Playing the games. And again, everybody who came, thank you so much. You have some games to look at, okay, and to analyze, so it was useful. I got some comment feedback from me. Let's quickly check the Grand Swiss, okay? I also have to do the game for tomorrow for the Europa Czech magazine. So I'll have to do the commentary, not from the Grand Swiss yet, because we need that to finish the tournament first. All right, let's see. I thought Giri was very impressive today with his handling of the Najdorf. Yeah, this was a little bit surprising, but okay, h5, and yeah. So Queen f3 is standard. I'm not sure why this was not played. After this, black is fine, yeah, because you don't have g5. And if you don't have g5, then this whole structure kind of loses point. Yeah. Again, very strange move. Queen f3 is like perfect sense, yeah. Yeah, there's some line with rook f5, but okay. Yeah, white is still doing good. But now we have very maneuvering phase, which is extremely difficult to play well accurately for both sides. I feel this knight should not be here though. Yeah, Queen g2 is considered to be one of the best places in the Sicilian in neither for white. Even though you don't push any pawns, but you kind of need the bishop here, and then potentially knight goes to d5. But it's kind of hard to play this, yeah, because you're falling for this thing. So, I mean, that's why white usually plays queen f3 in the first place. There are so many possibilities then. Yeah. Yeah, white is now trying to play super solid, but black has easy game kind of. Yeah, if you can place knight d5 and c4, that was white's plan obviously. White will be okay, but even the pawn grab apparently works. This is the knight goes to g5 to active location. Maybe he thought it's worth it, but you close the file. Then your rook here makes no sense. And after knight b6, black is just better, yeah, because king is solid, no breakthroughs. Now pair of bishops for black, no attack for white. Yeah, I don't know, like, what was white's plan here? Rook f8 even is possible. So white is trying to make a draw, but apparently he thought that Giri would just agree to a draw in any position, but not this time. Yeah. And Giri doing draws is the thing of the past. He's now a very aggressive player. Queen b4, I like this. Protects everything. Black has extra pawn. Very easy to roll, very easy to stop, and white is completely lost, yeah? Threatens the mate and forces the trade. Okay, this trade is also not bad, because white king is cut off, yeah? So black is just coming here and pushing pawns. Yeah, that's why white resigns. I thought that was very impressive opening prep by the dude. Right, there are a lot of draws actually. A lot of draws. Report Ponomaryov is a draw. Yeah, a lot of draws. Shirov Dubov was a very quick draw. And guess what? Dubov played London system, yeah, but it's okay. It's just a short draw. I don't know. Dubov kind of wasted his white color, which is important in this event. I don't know. All right, let's see how our French champion played. I'm supposed to annotate one of his games from the championship tomorrow. Looks pretty equal. Boom. Take. Bishop back. Yeah, very solid, yeah. Just very solid game and a draw. All right, good job. All right, gentlemen. There were some interesting games, but overall, I think it's a little bit too early. So let's see who is in a good form and not in a good form. So as the tournament gets closer to the halfway through, then we'll see who is, playing really well and trying to get those coveted spots into the candidates. Yeah. Divi and Grechkin are playing, correct. Pavel, you're here. Okay, let's check your game. For sure. Yeah, French knight c3 is... oh, but you play a3. Wait. Oh, you play a gambit. Ooh. I think e5 is, like, main line is a little bit better, but this is certainly playable. But you gotta know your stuff, yeah? I mean... c5, dc5. I don't know these lines. I mean, I have looked at them when I was studying this for black, but it's been such a long time I don't remember anything. Queen c5, tempo. Rook d1 looks good. How do you develop your king side? I'm curious. Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. How do you develop your king side? It's a very interesting moment. Knight g3 or h3. Knight g3 looks human, yeah, because you want to play c4, so he kind of has to do something. So you give him absolutely everything. But if you can finish the development, then your pair of bishops and this open king will kind of be good for you, yeah? But at the same time, you need to play aggressively. And this is the only move. If you cannot play this because of... Alright, that kind of bishop e5 check, yeah? And there's check here. Bishop a6 is the only move, and then take. Okay, you need to find bishop h5, which is not very realistic. And the idea is that there's this and this, yeah. Not very realistic, to be honest, to find for a human. Not realistic at all. Okay, rook d4. Rook b4. Okay, that's clearly wrong, yeah. That doesn't seem correct at all. Also, what is the c4 immediate? I actually kind of like it. Ah, okay, you just win the exchange, yeah. So c4. And if he plays knight e5, then knight f4 still, so b6 probably. Yeah, but now you can play your knight somewhere, yeah. If this, then you both castle, but your position is slightly preferable, yeah. Because I think this pawn is nice, kind of takes the square. Not easy to get rid of this for black. And your bishop controls everything, dark squares. But the advantage is not that large, yeah. So it's playable for black. Yeah, this looks kind of weird. Knight b6 with idea of knight d5, okay. Knight c3, actually very human. Knight b5, and now you're better. Okay, queen d6 is... yeah, but even if he doesn't play queen d6, he has to play this, and then you can develop. And he has to take, and then he plays c5. And if he takes... queen f6. And winning for whites, because difference in the queens, naked king, check, save king, and lots of pins coming up, yeah, and very, very bad queen, pretty much. Yeah, rook c4. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that your rook went all the way from here, here, and then you got there, yeah. All right, very interesting game. Yeah, this line is actually very tactical. Yeah, very tactical. Yeah, it's fun to play this because not many French players remember how to play this correctly with black. c5 is the main line. Your question was after rook g8, why black doesn't play what? 95 isn't working. 95? What 95? Alright, let's pass. Am I rooting for anybody? DC5 is a computer move. Yeah, I mean DC5 is some computer moves are like that. I mean, what else can you do, yeah? The other move you have only is 92, but yeah, I don't see how that works. Yeah, DC5 is perfectly natural. Take, bishop e3, again, all perfectly natural, and the only question is this position, yeah? So c4 makes sense, but also I don't understand h3, to be honest. Ah, okay, of course. You just take away the square. And then you develop with the tempo absolutely everything, yeah. And queen c3, and but now not bishop but rook. And the threat is bishop d4, yeah. So you're forced to play, and rook d1, queen f6. Yeah, he has to play bishop a6, and you just walk away. Castling is losing, rook d8 is the only move, queen c6 with a threat of 96, and black has to take here. This is a draw, and rook g6 is rook h1, nice. Man, extremely complicated, yeah. And rook e5, oh my god. 95, holy moly. Oh, look at this line. Look at this line. Yeah. All right, not bad. Very interesting line, Mr. Nefedov. Yeah, but okay, you kind of need to look that far in your analysis, yeah, because then you know you're like winning or not. So yeah, good line. Very interesting line. Yeah, I remember I was black. I didn't play like this. I don't remember what I played, but it was something different. All right, gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for coming to the event once again. I appreciate it. And tomorrow I'll get the break, probably. And we'll see you either on... this Saturday we have the Lichess Fisher titled arena, by the way. Those of you who don't know, there was titled Fisher arena. Where is it? Oh my god. There. All right. So it's gonna be on Tuesday, on Saturday. Usually title arenas are on Saturday, and it's chess 960, okay? And it's also 3+2. It has increment, yes. So I'll be streaming it, okay? If you're a title player, you should definitely take part in it, okay? Because then on Sunday we have our own Fisher event. All right, guys, thank you. Have a good one. All right. Good night.